What's going on, yo? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on these topics. And the first thing I want to discuss is the fact that the former CEO of Abercrombie Fitch was arrested on yesterday along with his boyfriend and another cat on trafficking charges. Now, a lot of people are trying to connect this to Diddy. Everything is connected to Diddy nowadays, right? I get that. And sometimes it does get tiring, but they're saying that Diddy is in jail singing like a canary and things of that nature because he knows where the actual bones are buried. Now, I do want to let you guys know that the former CEO of Abercrombie Fitch was accused of this last year, but he came out and vehemently denied the accusations. And so all of a sudden, now the victims have supplied solidified proof that shows that they were violated, right? And most of these individuals being models for Abercrombie Fitch. And if you do your due diligence, or you really don't have to do your due diligence, you could just look at the commercials. These young individuals, young men in particular, always have their shirts off. And so over the course of the years, a lot of people saw that as red flags as it pertains to these youngins always appearing in Abercrombie Fitch's commercials shirtless, right? Now, we understand that these youngins were models, but a lot of people felt that the fact that they were pushed out there all the time with no shirt on became just a little bit overzealous for some people's likings. Now, the one thing that I don't like about this situation is the fact that the former CEO, Mike Jeffries, was able to post bail yesterday. There was a $10 million bond and he paid $1 million to get out. And I believe that the other two gentlemen were able to make bail as well. Now, for those of you who follow me tight, you know I have my reasons to believe that Diddy is not locked up in the first place, but let's just say that Diddy is locked up. Isn't it a crying shame that Mike Jeffries can go and make bail and pay $1 million to get out of jail the same day when he's been charged with the same charges as Diddy, but Diddy can put up $50 million and they deny his bail? Now, we know what the issue is. There's a difference. There's a glaring difference, but it really makes me upset. Now, do I think that Diddy deserves bail? No. Do I think that Mike Jeffries and his counterparts deserves bail? No. Anybody who is associated with this BS does not deserve bail. But how can this individual get out and Diddy can't, right? We got to keep it real. We got to be fair because Mike Jeffries is rich as hell. He's not rich as Diddy, but he could get on somewhere if he wanted to. He can scoop somewhere. You get what I'm saying? He can go to another country where there's no extradition in place. So I guess you're going to give him the opportunity because of his privilege to get away, right? But the brother doesn't get that same privilege, and we understand why. Now, also, as I'm about to play you some clips that pertains to the former CEO of Abercrombie Fitch being arrested along with his counterparts, I'm also going to play you a clip in regards to Jamie Foxx saying that he was poisoned, right, when he got sick. Now, I'm also going to play you guys a flashback from a video that I did a year ago telling you that my plug told me that Jamie Foxx was poisoned and things of that nature. I did do a video connecting it to Diddy. It did get taken down, but I will dig in the crates to see if I can find that video in the archives because I know that it has to be somewhere. It's just going to take me quite some time to pull that up, but I was able to pull this clip up very quick that alludes to what Jamie Foxx said to corroborate what I heard on his Netflix special. So I want you guys to sit tight and I'll be back to close the video.
I'm not a lawyer, but did you watch the Netflix documentary White Hot: The Rise and Fall of Abercrombie & Fitch? Well, child, the fall just fell some more. The old CEO who was highlighted in that documentary was just indicted by the federal government on more than 12 counts, including trafficking and pay for play. And I read the 12-page indictment, so let me tell you about it. So it's the United States of America versus Michael Jeffries. He was the old CEO, Jeffries' partner, Matthew Smith, and James T. Jacobson, also known as Jim Jake, Miss Cook, and Todd. So again, Michael Jeffries was the CEO of Abercrombie from 1992 until 2014. And in addition to that, he had his own business, which was called the Jeffries Family Office, which was set up to just manage his own personal assets and affairs. And James T. Jacobson was an employee of the Jeffries Family Office, and the indictment says he took care of some things for Jeffries and his partner, Matthew Smith. The indictment says that from 2008 until 2015, Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson operated an international trafficking and pay-for-play business, and they relied on their money, resources, and Jeffries' power and influence as Abercrombie CEO to make this happen. Michael Jeffries and Matthew Smith paid for dozens of men to travel all over the world to meet them and engage in their text party events. It says that Jeffries and Smith used their JFO business to hire a specific set of staff members to take care of transportation for the men attending their events, set up the space for these events, take care of security for these events, and overall just supervise the events. The staff members were in charge of instructing the participants of the event to wear costumes, use toys, and just generally be prepared for the various activities that they would be expected to participate in. And then at the conclusion of the events, the staff would take care of paying the participants. But even with all of this, the indictment says that Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson used coercion, deception, and fraudulent tactics to recruit people for their events. For example, the indictment says that there was a referral program in place for these events. Basically, if you referred a man to the three of them for their events, and that man was successfully selected, then you, the person who did the referral, would get paid a fee. But according to the indictment, the men who were being referred were not told about the full extent and nature of the activity that they were being referred for. There was also, according to the indictment, an interview and tryout process in place. So before being selected as an actual attendee of an event, potential participants were required to interview and have a tryout session with Jacobson. But the indictment says prospective participants were not told about these tryouts and interviews and what would be involved in them. The indictment also alleges that Michael Jeffries used his role at Abercrombie to help facilitate his scheme, and he would do so by mentioning modeling opportunities that didn't really exist, as well as placing Abercrombie products all around the event and providing participants itineraries that looked just like model call sheets. And these itineraries didn't include anything about what was really going to take place, which, according to the indictment, led these participants to believe that these events could lead to potential Abercrombie model opportunities. And so they should comply. And if they didn't comply, that could potentially hurt their careers or future opportunities. Now, one of the final interesting notes in this indictment is that it alleges Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson intentionally recruited heterosexual men for these events, knowing that they would be unwilling to participate, and yet they would insist that they do. The indictment says that these men were pressured to drink alcohol, take muscle relaxants, and in some instances, they were injected with a prescription grade substance as a way to get them to perform. And staff remained all around the event to ensure that men did not leave until Jeffries and Smith said that they could. And so that is why the previous CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, as well as his partner and employee, have just been charged with 1 count of trafficking and 15 counts of interstate pay-for-play. This year just ain't gonna stop, is it?
Leatherface is Mike Jeffries, the infamous Abercrombie & Fitch CEO that refused to hire minorities, banned dreadlocks on employees, and had to shell out millions of dollars to settle discrimination lawsuits, has just been arrested for trafficking. Let's dive into his cursed legacy. First off, this brand didn't just sell clothes, it sold a toxic culture. You might remember their controversial marketing, like those graphic t-shirts featuring racist depictions of Asian individuals, including one shirt that infamously said, 2 Wongs can make it white. And let's not even forget how they treated their employees. Jeffries enforced a ban on dreadlocks and even ranked employees based on their appearance and skin tone. It's like a fashion pageant with all of the wrong values. In addition, back in 2003, under his watch, Abercrombie faced a class action racial discrimination suit. Minorities were turned away from sales positions, shoved into stock rooms, and had their hours cut because, get this, they weren't Abercrombie enough, okay? This company decided to settle for a whopping $50 million, but did not admit any wrongdoing. Then there's a Supreme Court case in 2015 where Abercrombie argued that it was legal to deny a woman a job because she wore a headscarf. They, of course, lost that case 8-1. With all of that, I almost forgot to mention that they refused to carry plus sizes for years. If you didn't fit their narrow definition of beauty, good luck finding anything to wear in their stores. Now, fast forward to today. Mike Jeffries, along with his associates, have been arrested for trafficking. Allegations are swirling that they exploited young men at parties they hosted around the world. The investigation uncovered a startling reality that they purportedly had a trafficking ring operation run by Abercrombie, enabling men to exploit young aspiring models. Mike Jeffries allegedly abused his authority to entice young men with promises of fame, only to drug and traffic them. This situation serves as yet another instance of wealthy individuals exploiting others, believing that they can evade all consequences. Mike Jeffries may have once been on top, but now he's just a cautionary tale of what happens when we treat bad CEOs like the quirky, politically incorrect figure instead of the bloodsuckers they are.
Go.
I think there are going to be some people that are not happy with what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. The former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, Mike Jeffries, and his romantic partner, Matthew Smith, were arrested this morning on trafficking charges very similar to Diddy's. That happened this morning, and they're already out. They got a $10 million bond. They had to put up $1 million. Dude's worth $300 mil, so $1 million's nothing to him. And if you ask me, look at this guy. This guy is scarier than Diddy. I would also argue that he is just as much a flight risk, if not more, because he's 80 years old, and even the smallest amount of time could see him die in prison. He's also worth $300 million, and he ran a well-oiled trafficking ring for years. Very well-oiled. Now, it does seem that there's one glaring difference between him and Diddy. Other than that, though, what's the difference? They both have immense wealth, immense power, connections, etc. He can get out of the country just as easily. He can tamper with witnesses just as easily. And dude is smiling as he got out of jail, by the way. It is my opinion that if you are charged with crimes as heinous as this, especially when you're coming from the FBI, federal agencies, your butt needs to stay in jail until your trial. But man, talk about disparity and privilege. Out of all the Diddy videos I have done, you need to watch this one because it is mind-blowing. And seriously, wait for it. So currently Jamie Foxx is filming a comedy special for Netflix, but he got serious in it, saying that Diddy is responsible for the stroke that he had last year. And he was being dead serious. So serious, in fact, that Jamie Foxx called the FBI on Diddy. Now, Diddy and Foxx used to be very good friends, but apparently had some falling out over a business deal. And while Jamie Foxx did not get into details about how or why he was poisoned, somebody else did. I know I keep saying this, but wait for it. So, celebrity bodyguard Big Homie CC said this in quote, "Well, I know he poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. I know that's a fact." If you remember last year when Jamie went into the hospital, he went in for an undisclosed medical issue. According to Big Homie, that's the reason why Jamie was in the hospital. But apparently, in addition to that, Jamie also might have gotten roughed up. There's a music director who goes by the handle Choke No Joke, and he said this: "He didn't chill, and allegedly Diddy and his security beat Jamie's, and that's why Jamie was in the hospital." Now, remember how I said wait for it? Apparently, Big Homie claims that Diddy tried to poison him at least 3 times, and he has tested for cyanide in the past. And he claims that he was targeted because he got into altercations with some of Diddy's affiliates. Now, Big Homie claims that he tested positive for cyanide 3 times, and this led to pneumonia and other health complications. Here's the question: how many other bodies are there that we don't know about? Like, I'm not trying to spread rumors, I'm not trying to start anything, but this is not the first or second person who have said they've been poisoned by this guy.
What I want to bring to y'all's attention is the fact that there is an individual that's extremely close to the Foxx family who is stating that the doctors suspect that Jamie Foxx was poisoned, and also Jamie communicated to the doctors and also to law enforcement that he felt that a particular individual that was working on the set of his new film with Cameron Diaz is responsible for committing such an egregious act. It's also been said that Jamie has expressed to people who's close to him that ever since he had arrived in Atlanta to film, that there seemed to have been a pivotal focus from someone to deliberately set him up. Jamie also indicated that he had a feeling like someone was trying to lure him out of his hotel in the wee hours of the morning, with the individual involved claiming that it had to do with production and other various technical issues dealing with filming. Alright, so you guys just heard all of that, and I just think it's a true travesty that Mike Jeffries and his associates were able to bond out of jail and to move on about their merry way until their trial begins, while we potentially have a brother sitting behind bars trying to build his defense and things of that nature. Like I said, nobody should be given the chance to bail out of jail when you're facing charges of this magnitude. To me, it's just a slap in the face. I don't care what the color of your skin is, right? Right is right, wrong is wrong. This is just crazy to me. I just don't understand it. I really don't understand it. And I'm still waiting on Diddy's mugshot, by the way. Are you? Now, as far as it pertains to Jamie Foxx saying on his Netflix special that he was potentially poisoned by Diddy, I told you guys last year, my plug told me that that was the actual case, that he communicated that to the FBI, and also family members were aware of the situation. I did do a video. Like I said, I'm going to look for that video, but I remember the video being taken down, but I saved everything. So I'm going to have to dig deep to find it, because I don't know at that particular time if I labeled it correctly, so I can just go and pull it up. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that video that I did over a year ago definitely highlights the fact and supports the fact that Diddy was allegedly responsible in regards to why Jamie Foxx suffered that medical emergency. But anyway, I'm gonna draw the line here. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that was discussed within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're new here. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.